What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JBuck Studios, your home for reviews, reactions, and of course, ridiculousness. And we're jumping over to Netflix. I was able to watch a little bit early, but guess what? This review is dropping right when the movie drops, so if you want to go watch it, you can. It's on Netflix right now. Melissa McCarthy, Octavia Spencer, superheroes in Thunder Force. Two childhood best friends reunite as an unlikely crime-fighting superhero duo when one invents a formula to give ordinary people superpowers. So is this new Thunder Force a great comedy-centric superhero movie genre and whatnot that we have yet to get in the mainstream? Let's find out. But before I get into my thoughts, let me know what you thought of Thunder Force. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Are you a big fan of Melissa McCarthy or Octavia Spencer? I want to know in the comments down below. Now, let's get into some of the good. So, Thunder Force is a buddy superhero, friends from back in the day, reuniting, going off and fighting crime after getting these ridiculous superpowers, or rather superpowers in a ridiculous way. Yeah, I think the main thing, or one of the things that stood out to me and kind of worked, was Melissa McCarthy and Octavia Spencer. Not necessarily them alone. I mean, I liked each of their characters. They really played into the bits, the parts, what their persona, what their character was asking, but I think their chemistry together was something that I thought worked, because again, friends from back in the day, drifting apart, then coming back together in an unlikely manner, having to adapt from different point of views and different lifestyles, and having them kind of have to, again, relate to one another to fight crime, to be superheroes, to work as a great duo of crime fighting or stopping these evil people, or miscreants rather. So I thought that their chemistry worked fairly well. Again, nothing completely outstanding like one of the best buddy cop, buddy superhero type movies ever, but I thought it was a standout for myself. But like I said, the miscreants, or the evil supervillains essentially in this, is something that I grasp onto. I liked. I wish we would have gotten way more lore that I'll touch on a little bit later, but I thought what we were given was unique, was fun. Each of them kind of had their own, archetype or kind of trope and whatnot. But Jason Bateman, he is the best part of Thunder Force. He is an evil supervillain, miscreant type character, but kind of the superpowers, the trope, the gimmick, the gag that they give his character is the best part of the movie. Just kind of the little mannerisms that he does, or kind of the weird situations and kind of charismatic attitude that this character has is, I almost was like, just give me the whole movie centered around this character, because he is just so smooth, but there's something just apparently weird about the character. So I loved Jason Bateman here. However, Thunder Force, I'm not going to say it was bland. It just didn't do anything to really grasp me onto the source material. I mean, we've had a lot of progress, I guess, in the superhero genre, expecting the top tier, and kind of bringing comedy into the mix is a unique new thing. We haven't really gotten a comedy-centric superhero type movie aside from the Deadpool movies. This, I think, just didn't land for myself, because it didn't really steer too far into the comedy, it didn't steer too far into the superhero, it didn't steer too far into the world, the lore, the miscreants. Like, if you would have given them crazy, more ridiculous powers and whatnot, rather than superhuman strength, invisibility, and a few other ones thrown in there, or the villains were kind of, they had their own gang, they had even crazier things. Again, Jason Bateman worked for myself, but the other characters were kind of just like, oh, okay, you kind of skimped out on them. They're very generic, essentially. So I think that this movie, what it did or didn't do was miss the mark. It had a lot of potential, and it just didn't work for myself because they didn't go that extra mile. And again, maybe that's on me, maybe me expecting more from this, but I think that they really could have, packed more into this movie. But this is a comedy movie. It's superhero comedy. The comedy bits of it, again, this is coming from Ben Falcone. It's a Ben Falcone movie, and I think that it didn't work because I'm not a big fan of his films. I don't even know if I like any of his films, let alone, therefore, the comedy that he sets up in his movies. Because, again, some of it's very cheeky and whatnot, but Melissa McCarthy is kind of the fall down and laugh type character. It's those pratfalls and whatnot, and that's not my kind of humor, I guess, or the thing that didn't really land for myself. So just kind of the way that the characters were written and the way that they kind of had to play through things, but also the comedy that attached to each of these characters felt very, I don't know, I wouldn't say immature, but it just wasn't my style. It didn't hit on those comedic tones that I was really hoping for from, again, this kind of weird buddy superhero type movie and whatnot. Rounding it out, I mean, it's everything. Just ramp everything up a little bit more. You know, it was at a 6, give me an 11, and go crazy with things. Like, make the superhero fights a little bit more outlandish and whatnot. The villains crazier. The conflict between these buddy characters that used to be friends. Get more into those personal type levels, because it did feel like a lot of things were very surface level in this movie, and that's what I think kind of made it feel almost generic in a way. It wasn't anything super unique. I mean, even the world and the lore, like, they kind of mention a little bit of the lore, but I think it kind of breaks down after the movie gets going, of like, oh yeah, what we set up at the beginning isn't necessarily how everything plays out. And I mean, it's set in Chicago. I guess it's not a fake world, so I have to accept Chicago as Chicago. Overall, Thunder Force is your buddy superhero type movie, but I don't think that this does anything different. With it, again, having fun chemistry between Octavia Spencer and Melissa McCarthy, and Jason Bateman being the standout for myself, but with it very much being unoriginal, not unique, nothing that really stood out for myself, and the comedy not landing, I would skip out on Thunder Force. If you're a big fan of either of these actresses or a Ben Falcone fan, you're going to probably love this, but I think that there just wasn't enough done in this one to really draw me in, to really bring me back to either this world, the lore, or potentially a sequel. In closing, I'm going to give Thunder Force 2.5 out of 5 superheroes. So what did you all think of Thunder Force? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Were you laughing your patootie off because you love this kind of humor? I want to know in the comments down below. Anyways, though, as always, thank you so much for watching. Whoop! Watch more videos up there or right over there. You know, brand new content every single week here on the JBuck Studios channel. Falcon and the Winter Soldier every Friday. A few more reviews coming out next weekend. I will then be on vacation in a week, and then obviously follow my TikTok for all sorts of cool, crazy, fun sketches and videos over there. Like this video, subscribe to the JBuck Studios channel, and until next time, we'll see you later.